Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Cyrix, and today I'm be showing you all the best settings in Modern Warfare 2 to help you dominate in ranked play. These are gonna help you become better overall, just to help you become a better overall player and just help improve your FPS so you can have a smoother gameplay. If you do not play with like paddles or you don't have like a scuff type of controller, I mean, I don't have a scuff, I just have a controller with paddles. I'll link my controller down in the description if you guys want to know what it is. If you don't have one of those type of paddles, what I would do is, I would either switch your button layout to be tactical. It just what it does is switches your melee and your right stick. So your right stick becomes your dive, your crouch, your slide, and your B becomes your melee. This just helps, especially in this game, as drop shotting is super like important. That's how you win a lot of gunfights. I would recommend doing this just that way you don't have to take your thumb off your stick to drop shot. It's quick and easy. Boom. Just hold down your right stick and just you can easily aim while you hold it down. Trust me, it's something I would recommend you doing. As you can see, like it just all it does is switch your B and your right stick. And I mean, if you don't want to do that, if you play claw and you want more of like something to help you jump while you're in gunfights, you can change this to jumper bumper or bumper jumper. And what it'll do is change your bumper to be mantle and A as attack does like your flash pings and stuff. This is just another way, to help you with movement. If you're more of like a movement type of person, so you don't have to take your thumb off the stick, you can fly around the map and just, it's just jump around and stuff. Or, you can always just custom button layout. MW2 is pretty awesome for this, allowing you to just, customize your controller and use any button on anywhere. So it's, if you guys want to do that too, you guys are more than welcome to. But moving on to the actual settings, for the horizontal and vertical stick, I'm rocking a 6.6. I'm more of like an AR type of player. So, I kind of like the longer distance engagements. So I don't run too high of a sensitivity. If this works for you guys, awesome. But you're not forced to use a sensitivity. I want you guys to, if you guys can use this as a starting point. If it's too slow for you, you can, higher it. If it's too fast, you can lower it. I mean, just use this as a good base. This is perfect for me. This is what works for me. It's not gonna work for everybody. So just remember, use this as a base starting, and then work from there. If it's not working for you, but just remember, this is just like a base starting point. You're not forced to use this 6.6. If you like to want to be like a super snappy player, you can go all the way up to like 20. And the shit's fucking hella fast. I'm just not used to that. I don't prefer that. So I like that 6.6. My ADS sensitivity multiplier. So this is like when your ADS, how fast it moves. I dropped this down to 0.8. Just that way, it just makes you more accurate when you're aiming down sights, especially for longer range engagements. And you see here, the sensitivity multipliers, all these are just 1. I didn't do much to these. Aim down sight behavior, you want to have that hold. Putting that on toggle is just, I don't know what you're doing, man. You don't want to have it on toggle. I have my sprint / tactical on chair, so when you're sniping, it's your left joystick to, zoom in and stuff, like with the scope, depending on what it is. And then I use auto tac sprint. I mean, let's just be real, it's better on your fingers. It helps with movement. I enjoy it. If you're not forced to use it, if you like the double, be my guest. I love with automatic tac sprint and just dolphin dive, and the dolphin hop is just, it's amazing. The movement is not as great, as previous gods, but this just helps, increase that movement and just helps you be like smoother and faster on the map. And on the equipment behavior, I have it as hold. My weapon mount, I have at double tap ADS, so like when you're close to a wall, and like you want to mount it, instead of having to, click a different button or do all this, I just double tap my ADS and it'll mount the wall for me. I like that. It's just super easy. You don't have to go out of your way to find another button to click. just quick and easy double tap and your ADS. Double tap and hold it down, and you'll be ADS'd on the corner. For the interact accessory reload, I like to have prioritize reload. If you're playing Warzone, I would put on prioritize interact, as it interacts with, as it'll prioritize to pick up items rather than reload your gun. And then obviously armor plates, behavior, apply all. And for the advanced, you want to have your target aim assist on. If you have that shit off, you're just, I don't know what you're doing, man. You're losing out. Aim assist is broken. That, or you're just an absolute demon. I do recommend warming up with this off though. So like if warming up off to start off the day, I would recommend turn this off and warm up your hip fire and then turn it back on. It's gonna help you increase. It's gonna help you improve your aim. Trust me, I do it. And then for the aim assist type, I switched from Black Ops to default after they did nerf it. Black Ops used to be super strong. I like default now. I don't know. You want to take that. You always want to have that competitive advantage. So I tested a lot of them, there's only 4, so I tested all of them, and then default has the strongest aim assist now. Yeah, Black Ops was pretty heavily nerfed. It was pretty broken, so I see why. And then third person ADS correction, ADS response curve dynamic. This is just dynamic. It's for fine mapping. Just super fine control. Just gonna help that right stick feel smooth and buttery. And then for your ADS sensitivity transitioning, I would do instant. That way the minute you ADS, the sensitivity changes. You can change it to gradual or after zoom, but this is just, I don't know, like this. That way while you're like middle ADS and sometimes you're jumping around a corner, you're like, when you jump peak, you want to ADS before you peak. So I just like to have this. That way you're already adjusted to the new sensitivity before you end up challenging the guy, and it just helps you. As for your input dead zones, I would suggest you getting these to as low as you possibly can without stick drift, obviously, or with as little stick drift as possible. The lower this is, the less you have to move your joystick to make your character react. So your left joystick, the lower it is, your left joystick, the lower it is, the less you have to move it to make your character run. So I would, as low as you can pit it, I would recommend it. And then the max, I would just leave it as is, don't touch it. And then the triggers, I would put these all the way down. That way, you can just go ahead and, I think you can actually turn it off. It says right here, for best results, turn off the trigger effect setting. So I would go ahead and just either pit it to like 0.1 or just turn it off. And then, control orientation, set this to whatever if you play with the controller upside down. I would like to see that. That'd be funny. But yeah, let me know if you guys do. And then obviously gyro behavior, you want this shit off, because if you're one of those people who react a lot while you're playing, you're gonna notice like your controller makes your crosshair move, and you don't want that. That's just you don't want your controller to affect your aim. So you turn all this off. FOV sensitivity scaling, you can turn it off. You don't want nothing to do with gyro on. Auto move forward off. Tactical sprint behavior, single tap to tactical sprint. Grounded mantle you want off. Automatic airborne mantle off. That way if you jump in the air, like it won't automatically grab onto something. You want to invert your slide and dive behavior. I do this because it just honestly it feels like you have more freedom and more movement. This just allows you to tap your dive button. Sorry, this just allows you to tap like B or circle. So instead of it sliding, it's gonna dive, and then you'll hold it to slide. So I mean, like I said, if you tapping it to dolphin dive, because dolphin diving is probably one of the best movement mechanics right now, I would suggest inverting that. I mean, it's something I would honestly, just one of the things I would suggest doing. Plunging underwater, I would punch freely. Instead of having to move both joysticks. The plunge really just allows you to just move like that one joystick and it'll go where you want to go. Parachute auto deploy off, sprinting door bash on. That way it just bashes the door. Ledge hang mantle only. ADS stick swap off. Backpack alternate control off. Weapon mount movement exit on. Weapon mount exit delay short. And then this is just depleted ammo on. This is just random. Then moving on to the graphic settings, you want to use. I have mine in full screen exclusive. I recommend running. I mean, you can run full screen borderless. Especially if you're like, if you're in and out of your game a lot. Just because sometimes when you're in and out of your game a lot, it'll freeze up and crash. But other than that, I would definitely recommend full screen exclusive, as the game prioritizes your graphics card to render, to use all its VRAM. Your game prioritizes to use your graphics VRAM towards Modern Warfare rather than other apps. Down here it'll show you how much VRAM Modern Warfare is using compared to what I have open in my background. And when you have it on exclusive, it prioritizes Modern Warfare over your other apps. So compared to borderless, it's gonna allow more graphic processing to be used to your background apps, which is gonna allow for less performance. So if you want max FPS, maximum performance, I recommend you turning on full screen exclusive. Obviously, you display adapter set it to your graphics card. Your screen refresh rate, highest as possible. Mine's 165. Your display resolution, I would recommend setting this, as high as possible. But if 1440p is like too hard on your card, then I would definitely downscale to 1920 by 1080. Just not every computer can run 1440p. It's okay. 1080p gaming is fucking just okay, and a bunch of pros play on 1080p still. So I enjoy that 2K crisp. I'm just a fucking nerd, I guess. Everything else, aspect ratio automatic, VSync off, VSync and menus off, and yeah, that's about it. Oh, and then high dynamic range, you want that off. And then if you guys are wondering why you have like that white tint to your game, it's more than likely because you have your brightness maxed out or really high. I recommend lowering it to like 55, 60, just so you don't get that white like tint over your game. Then going into the quality, with the recent update, they added AMD FSR 2.1. This is so much better than 1.0, so I do recommend using this. The ghosting, the image scaling, and everything got better, so there's less ghosting. That means ghosting is like when you're moving and you'll see like a fade image of it, kind of like a motion blur type of image. They fixed a ton of that. They improved the image resolution, so for when it upscales, it looks more crisp, less pixely. So I recommend it. I honestly think it's better than the Fidelity FX Cast now, so I do recommend using this. Also, it just, when you have this, what it does is it downscales the game too. So for me, it'll downscale the game to 1080p, and with the AMD FSR, it'll upscale to 1440p, which just pits less render, like it pits less GPU usage. It's just less cost effective for your GPU, and just allows you to have better performance. Obviously, the lower you go, if you go ultra performance, the picture isn't as great. But if I'll put a picture on the screen here, as you can see, it looks fucking fantastic. So much better than the first version. So I recommend using FSR 2.1. And if you guys obviously want a better picture quality, you can go ahead and do quality, and this will still, help lower render usage on your GPU. So again, I recommend using FSR 2.1 if you're upscaling. Moving on, we have, I like to max out my video memory scale, just that way, the game you can use as much as possible VRAM. Obviously it's not gonna ever use your total VRAM unless you only have like 4 gigabytes. But I have 8, so my Modern Warfare will never get anywhere near 90%. But other than that, for your texture resolutions, I have mine on very low. Uh, Again, the upscaling helps bring up these texture resolutions and look really crisp. So I run everything very low just so I can, again, have that peak performance. And again, I recommend using FSR as it's going to help upscale and make the game look better without having to higher your texture resolutions. So, texture resolution, very low. Texture filters, low. Nearby the level of detail, low. Distant level of detail, low. So this is like, the map further out rendered, further buildings. Clutter draw distance, short. Particle quality, I have it on low. Particle quality level, very low. Bullet impacts, on. Persistent damage layers, on. You do want shader quality to be low. You do want shaders on. Shaders are very useful in this game, especially like on Embassy, where it has such a bright sun, or Mercado. Shaders literally give out an enemy's position, so make sure you guys are running shaders, as they'll literally help you in the game. Tessellation off. Terrain memory max. I recommend this, as just literally it just helps render the whole map. It pits more memory, so that way the game can render out the map better, and it'll always stay rendered, rather than sometimes when you're running around the map and it'll look unrendered, and as you get close to it, it'll render in. So I do recommend this to max. On-demand streaming textures off. We don't need none of that. Streaming quality low. You have this off already, so it's not like you need any of this. Volumetric quality low. Deferred physics quality, I have it as off. Water caustics off. Shadow map resolution, very low. Screen space shadows off. Spot shadow quality low. Spot cache low. Particle quality low. Ambient eye collision off. Screen space reflection off. Static reflection quality low. Weather grid volumes off. And then the rest are just going to be off. You don't want depth of field. You don't want no motion blur. You don't want, you don't want your game looking all blurry as you're running around. You don't want weapon motion blur. You don't want your gun looking blurry as you're running around. And you don't want fill grain. It's just unnecessary GPU usage. Please, if you guys want peak FPS performance, go ahead and use this settings. And again, please put on that FSR 2.1 and then either ultra performance or performance. For me, I run ultra performance, and it looks, like I said, it looks fantastic. Put a picture here, but let's move on to the field of view. For the field of view, I have it set to 110. Anything after about 110, you start to lose aim assist, and this has been like confirmed by a lot of like the pros and shit too. So I mean, and you'll notice it too. I mean, having that 120, field of view is nice, but 110, that it's not going to make too much of a difference. And when you're a good player, you have good awareness, so it's just, it's literally not going to impact it a lot. And plus, 110 is still 10 times better than fucking 80 FOV. Then ADS field of view, I would do independent. That way your ADS field of view and you're affected. And so that way when you aim down sight, it's different from your actual normal FOV. So when you aim down sights, it's gonna come back to that 80 FOV, but this is gonna help with like longer distance engagements. It's gonna help make that enemy seem closer than what he really is. Because when you have a higher FOV, it makes things, it gives you that wider angle, but it also makes things look farther. So when you're at a longer range, having an independent brings the FOV down to 80 and makes the person look a lot closer than what he actually is. So I would recommend pitting it on independent, not affected. Obviously, weapon field of view, you want this as wide as possible. The more visual you have in front of you, the better. And then third person field of view, you put this to max 90. The weapon field of view wide. And then that's going to be about it. Alrighty, coming over into the interface here. You guys can do what you want as this color customization, change your enemy color, your team color, whatever you want. I'm not gonna tell you guys what to do. I would recommend pitting it something that makes it better for you to see the enemies. I left it as red because it's just easy to see red, and the red dots are on the map. You can do like a green, or like some people do like just super bright colors, and it makes it easier to see. So it's just whatever you choose to do. And yeah, you can use subtitles. Coming over to your mini map, you want to put this on square. Having this on square just gives it, you can already tell the square mini map shows more of the map than the circle one does. So I would recommend pitting it on square. Obviously, mini map rotation on. You want this compass on. If you're not rocking this compass, you're tweaking. The compass is like our only red dots in the game now. So whenever someone's shooting, a red dot will pop up on your compass. So watch out for that, and that at least gives you some direct direction of where the enemy is. But still, the mini map on the map, the red dot on the mini map would be nice. Crosshair, I have this off. Let me tell you one thing. I have this off because I personally don't like how when the crosshair in the normal Call of Duty crosshair is it's whatever crosshair, honestly. When you move around, it moves. I don't like dynamic crosshairs. I like static crosshairs. So I turned mine off, and then I turned it off, and I turned on the center dot. So what the center dot does, you remove your crosshair, and the center dot stays in the center of your screen, always, never moves, never goes away. Only when you ADS, obviously, but always stays there, never bounces around. So like, you could be running around the map, and when your center dot is on the person's head, you're gonna hit the person's head, because with the normal crosshair, it's dynamic. It takes a minute to to actually react to the ADS. So that's why I don't like running it, and I don't like how it bounces around everywhere. I really enjoy dot crosshairs, and this is gonna help you improve your aim. So I would recommend putting this on. It's just gonna help a lot. And then you can change the size of the crosshair. You can do from small to large. I have mine on larger. Just it's not the biggest dot, so that's why I have it on larger. And just the minute that dot is over somebody's head, you want an ADS, and just the minute that dot is on somebody's body, like that's your guaranteed hits. I promise you, hitting on the dot crosshair is gonna help you. Then coming over to the telemetry, I like to have my FPS counter on, server latency on. I have the clock, so it just shows like what time it is. That way I don't lose track of time. And then you can turn on the packet loss too. It'll show how much packet loss you're having. What packet loss is what causes lag. So the more packet loss you have, the more lag you're gonna have. Then coming down, you have these as is. Then you're gonna want to come here and stop right here. This inverted flash. I would go ahead and start that. This is what's gonna change that flash effect from being bright white, milking your screen, to just plain old dark like this. It just turns it black. It's all it literally just it's gonna be black like this when you get flashed. I recommend turning this setting on. It's really gonna help you out a lot. Just gonna help with that flash at night when it strains your eyes. You play close to the monitor, so when you get flashed, it is ridiculous, especially on shipment, man. Shipment is so annoying. So fucking annoying. You get flashed like every 2 seconds. So I would definitely run this. Stuns still have a white flash, so I wonder, so for ranked it's gonna help out a little bit, but it's still, that bright white shit is just so annoying. So to have that be able to be switched out is just gonna be better for your eyes, also like less straining. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this one. Actually, sorry, let's go over the audio settings real quick. I run headphone bass boosted. Just I don't know. I feel like it works for me. And then I have my master volume 100, my FX volume 100, voice chat to 20 because I don't know what the fuck it is, but this voice chat in this game is so fucking loud. I swear at 20 it still feels like they're at a fucking 100. Your speaker output stereo, or whatever, and then your headphones and just yeah, that's gonna be it for this one. I hope you all enjoyed this settings video. I hope these settings are gonna help you guys out. Help you guys become a better player. If y'all can, definitely leave a like, subscribe. Thank you all for the recent support. Lately, it's been fucking insane. We've gained over 200 subscribers in like the past 2-3 weeks, which is phenomenal to me. The most growth I've ever seen. So I appreciate y'all with the support. We're fucking killing it, and if we can continue it, that'd be amazing. And I'm gonna continue producing content for y'all as much as I can. I have a couple more videos lined up coming out soon. One's another class of video. It's a very OP gun, so stay tuned for all that. And I hope you all enjoy. Peace.